Today we are going to discuss about Hardy-Weinberg principle in evolution. So Hardy-Weinberg principle. In nature, populations are usually evolving such as the grass in open meadow, wolves in a forest and bacteria in person's body are all natural population. So natural population, so in a meadow the grass will grow effectively, and in a forest the wolf will be there more in number, and even the bacteria in our body is also more in number, which is useful for us. If it creates any disease also, it was more in number. So they all consider as natural population. All of these population are likely to be evolving some of their genes. So this population has some of the genes. So because of the genes only they are evolving in the world. Evolution does not mean that the population is moving towards perfection. Rather, the population is changing its genetic makeup over generations. So evolution is not saying about the population, but the population has some of the genetic characters, and the population was made by the genetic makeup, nothing but the chromosomes which are transferred from generation after generation. So the evolution was depend on genetic makeup, so not on the population size. Okay, so if there is any change in the genetic, it can transfer from one generation to another generation. For example, in a wolf population, there may be a shift in the frequency of gene variant for black fur than grey fur. So, in a wolf population, they took the color black fur than grey fur because the shift was seen in the frequency of the gene. So, the gene variant there, it shows the frequency of the black fur. So, the black fur is dominant. So, it shows more in number compared to the grey color in the wolf population. Sometimes this type of change is due to natural selection or due to the migration or due to the random events. So the color change, that is, it may takes place, that is the genetic makeup, the change can be takes place by the natural selection. So naturally it can occur, or by migration from one place to another place. It has to adjust to the particular place where it is moved to a new place. So the particular place, environmental condition, that also causes the change. Okay, and a random events that happens, so that the random changes taking place in the environment, due to that also the change in the genetic makeup can occur. So first we will see the set of conditions required for the population not to evolve. So we will see some of the points. So the first point, the first one, the Hardy of UK and Weinberg of Germany stated that the allele frequency in a population are stable and are constant from generation to generation in the absence of gene flow, genetic drift, mutation, recombination and natural selection. So Hardy of UK and Weinberg of Germany had given this, had stated that in a population the frequency is stable. So the frequency is stable after generator, or that is generation after generation, the gene frequency was stable if there is no gene flow, genetic drift, mutation or recombination and natural selection, which we have discussed already in previous classes. That is, in previous topics we have discussed it in the same lesson. Okay, so if there is an absence of gene flow, genetic drift, mutation, recombination and natural selection, there is no change in the genetic makeup, no. So they are saying, so the population frequency is stable and constant. So from generation to generation, if there is no that is natural selection, gene flow, genetic drift, mutation, recombination, that and all. Okay. So if a population is in a state of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, the frequency of alleles and genotypes or the sets of alleles in that population will remain same over generation. So this point is the Hardy-Weinberg principle. So if it was like that, there is no change, that is the population frequency is stable when there is no gene flow, genetic drift, mutation, recombination and natural selection. So if it was in a state like this, so the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium has to, that is, if the population was like this, the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium says the frequency of alleles and the genotypes or the sets of alleles, so they remain same over generation after generation. So if there is no any change in the genetic makeup, the population gene frequency will be same. So if your population is in a state of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, the frequency of alleles and the genotypes or the sets of alleles in that population will remain same over generation. So evolution is a change in the allele frequency in a population over time. So in a particular time there is a change in the population, that is called evolution. So hence population in Hardy-Weinberg is not evolving. So according to the Hardy-Weinberg law, there is no new genetic makeup and no new population going to evolve according to them. Okay. Suppose we have a large population of beetles and appear in two colors, that is dark grey and light grey, and the color is determined by a gene A, capital A. So the color gene in beetles was determined by capital A. So they had took the light grey and dark grey. So capital A and capital A small a beetles, that is capital A and capital A small a is responsible for dark grey and small a is responsible for light grey beetles. So in a population, let's say that capital A allele has the frequency of 0.3 and it is denoted as P. And small allele has the frequency 0.7, then it is represented as Q. So P plus Q is equal to 1, that is 0.3 plus 0.7. If you add on, you will get 1. Okay. If a population is in the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, the genotypic frequency can be estimated by Hardy-Weinberg equation. So that is the population, that is in a population of Hardy-Weinberg, you can determine the genotypic frequency using the Hardy-Weinberg equation. So this equation, this you have come across in your algebra. So this equation you have no a plus b whole square. The same thing here they used as p plus q whole square is equal to p square plus 2pq plus q square. So p square is the frequency of capital A and 2pq is the frequency of capital A and small a, and q square is the frequency of small a. So we know that P, that is capital A frequency is 0.3 and Q it is responsible for small a frequency, it is 0.7. So now you can substitute P square, that is this one. So this one P square is equal to 0.3 whole square. So which can be written as 0.09, and if you take percentage of this you will get 9% capital A, and 2pq is equal to 2 into 0.3 into 0.7 is equal to 42. So if you take percentage, then you will get 42%. You know how to take percentage, no? Into 100. So q square is equal to 0.7 whole square. That is q square, 0.7 whole square is equal to how much you will get? 0.49, and percentage 49%, small a. So like this you will get the frequency. So they are using the Hardy-Weinberg equation. What they get as what they assume, capital A means 0.3 and small a is 0.7. So based on that you have calculate with the help of this equation. Hence, the beetle population appears to be in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium when the beetles in the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium reproduces the alleles and the genotypic frequency in the next generation would be. So, the same, that is the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium uses the equation where you can see the alleles and genotypic frequency. Let us assume that the frequency of capital A and small a allele in the pool of gametes that make the next generation would be the same, then there would be no variation in the progeny. So, in the first generation they are getting the capital A and small a. So, if they are used in the gametes and the characters will be passed on to next generation, there is no variation in the progeny also. So, the genotypic frequency of the parent appears in the next generation. That is 9% capital A, 42% capital A, small a, and 49% small a, small a. So, this will be the same in the next generation. What was taken place in the first generation, the parent generation, that should be in same in the child generation also, the next generation also. If we assume that the beetles mate randomly, that is selection of male and female gametes in a pool of gametes. So, in a pool, they mate randomly. The probability of getting the offspring genotype depends on the genotype of the combination of the parental gametes. So, the parental gametes only the genotype of the offspring, that is progeny, genotype was determined if they mate randomly. Okay, that only they had said in this point. Hardy-Weinberg's assumptions include no mutation, as they said, no mutation. Okay, no new alleles are generated by mutation, nor genes get duplicated or deleted. So, mutation, it is a sudden change. So, that is not takes place in this Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So, because of that, no genes are duplicated or deleted. Random mating. So, every organism gets a chance to mate and mate in a random with each other with no preference for a particular genotype. So, they can mate with each and every organism, they get a chance to mate. And there is no particular preference for genotype. So, they can mate. So, whatever the black into black or that is dark grey into dark grey or dark grey into light grey and light grey into light grey beetles can be made. No gene flow. So, neither individuals nor the gametes enter in a population. So, there is no immigration or emigration. So, if there is immigration and immigration, the gene flow will be seen. But here no. Very large population size. So, the population should be infinity in size. That time only you can able to see the change and a new organism will be evolved. So, okay. No natural selection. So, alleles are fit to survive and reproduces. So, because they are taking one type of population. So, there natural selection is not seen because all are fit. All are fit and they can able to survive and reproduce. If any one of these assumptions were not met, the population will not be in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So, as we have discussed the above points, in that if the population doesn't get any of one, it will not be in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So, only if the allele frequency changes from generation to generation, that is generation to other, the evolution will takes place. So, if there is changes in the allele frequency only, the evolution can be takes place because the allele frequency has to take over from generation after to generation. So, one generation to other generation, during that time only the evolution will occur. Hope you understand the topic. If you have any doubts, post your doubts in the comment box. Give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel. If you want the video in Tamil, I had given the link in the description box. You can go and watch it. Thank you.